Hey there, it's Olivia Savannah here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you one huge book haul. To start off with, I was struck by the Booktube fairies. If you don't know what the Booktube fairies are, the Booktube fairies are a group that was created by Sydney from Sydney Stories, and they're a group of either viewers or booktubers who gather together once a month and they attack someone's wish list and buy them some books off of their wish list, just as a way of saying thank you for content creating and for being part of the community, which I think is a really lovely idea, and it's always lovely to see whoever gets Booktube fairy blessed. And they got me some really great books I'm really excited to talk about. So the first book I have here is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I have seen all of Booktube raving about this book and I'm just so intrigued to get into this high fantasy world. I'm not going to explain the books too much, and maybe I'll explain the odd one here and there, but all I know is that I really want to get to this one before the end of the year, just because it sounds like it's going to be so good. They also got me Middlegame by Seanan McGuire, and this one sounds like it's going to be a dark read. Everybody who has read it has loved it, and it's just been recommended time and time again, and I have to admit I'm so curious to read this one for myself. We've also got All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. This is a non-fiction memoir of their experiences as a black non-binary person, and it sounds like it's going to be really informative and really good. I've heard such positive reviews for this one. Also Queenie by Candace, Carty-Williams, and this one is about a British Jamaican girl living in England and just her dating experiences, her experience with depression I believe, and I was very curious about this one. Still am. And then last but not least, they also got me Pet by Akwaeke Emezi, and this one is a middle grade book with some dark themes, and I've just heard raving reviews once again, so I am so excited to read this one. And I just want to say a big thank you to anyone who was part of the Booktube fairies who sent me those books. It's anonymous, so I can't always say thank you to particular people, but I'm really hoping to get to these books, all of them, by the end of the year, because they just sound so fantastic. So the next section of books come from Sabine, from Sabine's Book Nook. Sabine also lives where I am currently living, in the same country, and she did a big book unhaul as she was sorting through her shelves and making room for new books, and she very kindly sent me some of the books that she unhauled that I was particularly interested in reading. We love when we see unhauls going into somebody else's haul. It's great to see. I love it. So the first book that she sent me was You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, and this is a young adult contemporary that seems to be really popular on Booktube at the moment. It's got an FF romance in it, and I believe it's about someone who wants to be prom queen, because if they become prom queen they can get a scholarship to the college that they want to go to. Everyone seems to enjoy it. I know that Sabine wasn't a big fan of the insta love, but I feel like if I know that there's insta love in it beforehand, I'm more able to just take the insta love and enjoy what else the story can bring me. After that we've got Date Me Bryson Keller, and this one is by Kevin Van Whye. I have heard a lot about this book on book blogs. It's got the fake dating trope. I think it's an MM romance. I am here for this one. It was also unhauling an Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and this is one I've heard a lot of good things about. Again, I've been very curious about it for a long time, but I've been on the edge of whether to buy it or not, and seeing as she was just unhauling it, I thought why not just snag her copy. I am looking forward to starting this series and just getting into it. I have been enjoying fantasy series lately, which is, you know, it doesn't always happen for me, so hopefully this will be another good one. Solitaire by Alice Oseman. I have been reading Heartstopper and I really enjoyed what I've read of Heartstopper so far, so I wanted to try one of her novels. I know that Solitaire is one of her least popular novels, but I also think this is the novel where the characters from Heartstopper come from. I know they're just like side characters, but I am curious, so I'm gonna give it a go and see what I make of it. Then we have Wildcard by Mary Lou. So this is a bit of a beaten copy and it's like got rips in it, but that's okay because it's still readable. That's the most important part, and if I do enjoy it then I can buy a nice pristine finished copy if I want. I don't have Warcross, but I fully do intend to eventually buy it at some point, just because I need to read more Mary Lou after the Legend series, and I do want to try this one. I love video games in books. I recently read Slay, and while I wasn't the hugest fan of that book, the part of it that I did enjoy was the video game. One of my favorite animes of all time is Sword Art Online, so any video game kind of book I'm there for it. After that, we have Released by Patrick Ness. I was so excited when I saw this in her unhaul because every single Patrick Ness book I've read so far, I've either loved or really enjoyed, and I do want to just keep working my way through Patrick Ness and see what else he can surprise me with. And Release was actually one of the ones that I wanted to buy, so I'm just so glad I could snag it from her unhaul. I don't know anything about it other than it's by Patrick Ness, and that is enough to get me so excited. She was also unhauling Adulthood is a Myth by Sarah Andersen. I read this one from the library back when I was in Australia and I really enjoyed it. I think it's funny, I think it's humorous, and the comics are really cute, and I just think it's one that I'm going to flip through and pick up every now and again when I'm in the mood to read something easy and something lighthearted but also something enjoyable. So I'm glad that I could finally add this to my bookshelf for myself. And we also have 2 Colleen Hoover books. So Colleen Hoover is an author who's very popular across book blogs, especially romance book blogs, and I've never tried any of her romances for myself, so I'm just going to give it a go. I've got It Ends With Us and also Slammed, and I'll see what I think of her writing for myself once and for all. So now we've got the books that I purchased for myself. We've had 2 months, and in my I counted all of the books that I own video, I've said I'm only allowed to buy 1 book for myself a month, and then also 1 book that I've already read that can just go straight onto my read shelves. So for the past 2 months I have 2 books that I bought for myself, and I'm just going to tell you about them here. The first one is The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. I really enjoyed City of Brass earlier this year, and I just thought, why not get the next book in this series? I've already started reading this, I'm currently reading it, and I'm about almost at halfway through. I am enjoying it even more than the first book, which is always a positive, and I am just looking forward to seeing where the rest of this series is going to take me, because who even knows. And then also the other purchase that I had to get for myself was Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. This is Twilight but from Edward's perspective. I'm curious about this one. I'm looking forward to reading it. I don't understand why it's so huge. Maybe I'll find that out when I read it for myself, but it kind of had to happen. If you don't know, the representation of the Quileute tribe in this book is really bad, so there'll be a link down below where you can donate to the tribe itself as they are trying to move to higher ground because they are in a danger zone. I decided to match my purchase of this book with a donation to them. You can do it any which way you want, but if you are going to be buying these books, maybe take that into consideration. Stephanie Meyer has also said some really racist things, so that's also something to take into consideration before buying this book. And then we have books that I've already read but bought anyway, just because I wanted to add them to my shelves, and I read them through some other which way. I've got 3 instead of 2. I actually cheated a little bit here, but I'll explain why. So the first 2 books I have here are books that I originally read from Free Little Libraries. So when I get books from Free Little Libraries, if I don't like the book, I tend to put it right back in the Free Little Library so somebody else can give it a go. And if I love the book from the Free Little Library, I don't want to keep it on my shelf because I got it for free from a community, and I want to put it back in there because I loved it and I think somebody else can love it too, and therefore I then go and buy my own edition because I loved it. I'm going to support the author and somebody else can love it from the Free Little Library too. So the 2 books that I got that way were Beartown by Frederick Backman. I've talked about this extensively in my September wrap up. I loved it so much, and I'm really happy to have my own copy on my shelves. And then we have The Murder of Rodger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie, and I borrowed my copy from the Australian Free Little Library and I absolutely adored it. It's one of my favourite Agatha Christie mystery novels, and I'm really looking forward to rereading it because I think that's one that's going to be really interesting to reread. So those are the 2 books that I have already read but bought. And then we've got one more as well actually, and that is Your Silence Will Not Protect You by Audre Lorde. This is a book I've already talked about on this channel. It's a collection of essays and non-fiction writings that Audre Lorde has written about being black, about being a lesbian, about being female, and she preach. Every essay in this is fantastic. She gets right to the nitty-gritty. She explains her points so clearly and concisely. Audre Lorde is my favourite essayist. She is the essay queen. In the back of this there's also some of her poems from a few of her collections on how silence will not protect you and about speaking up, about being yourself and your true self regardless of the discrimination that you might receive. I think this is fantastic. It's probably one of the best books I've read this year, so I wanted to get my own copy. Then we've got 2 gifts. So the first one is White is for Witching by Helen Oyeyemi. This one was gifted to me by Kasha from Kasha's Book Cemetery, and it was so lovely of her. She was doing an unhaul again like Sabine, and I was like, oh, I'm actually really interested in trying a book from Oyeyemi, and then she was like, what if I just sent you this one? So she was really lovely in sending this to me. It sounds like it's going to be creepy. I think it's got a scent in an haunted house in it, and I'm just intrigued to try something by this author because I've heard such good things about her writing, and it sounds kind of abstract in the way that I like when I'm reading, so really excited to get into this one. And then the thing about living internationally and having your family spread out across different countries is that birthday gifts get to you quite late. So my birthday was in January, but I got my birthday present from my sister when I went to Canterbury, and I have a vlog of doing that. And while I was there, she was like, here's your birthday present, I can finally give it to you. And that was Terra Nullius by Claire G. Coleman. This is a book about colonization in Australia and the Brits coming to Australia and taking over Indigenous spaces, and, you know, being horrible colonialists. And it's from the perspective of an Indigenous person, and it's written by an Indigenous author. So I really do want to read this, especially as when I was in Australia I was seeing it all over the awards, the bookshops, and I was so curious, so I'm glad I can finally get to it. Up next we have a stack of books that was sent to me by Book Break. I'm a Book Break insider, which means I review some of their books for them, but before I talk about the books they sent me for review, I want to talk about a video that I did for them. I did a guest video over on their channel, and I reacted to your unpopular opinions about Shakespeare, so if you have not seen that video yet, I'll leave a link to that down below. But while I was talking about the unpopular opinions, I was also using these Shakespeare Pan Macmillan library editions to talk about them. These editions are absolutely beautiful because if you take, they've got gorgeous covers for starters, but if you take off their covers you can see that they've got golden edged pages, there's illustrations inside, and the hardbacks look absolutely beautiful. They don't just do these for Shakespeare, they do these for a range of different classics, and I absolutely love these editions. But as I am reading all of my way through Shakespeare, and with my Shakespeare Sundays are scheduled to finish reading the collected works of Shakespeare by the end of November, if everything goes according to plan, I have actually consequently read all of these plays. So they can just go right onto my read shelf, and in my Shakespeare connection, I'll just run through what they are. They are the sonnets, really love the sonnets. The Taming of the Shrew, which is not one of my favourite Shakespeare plays. I think it's very interesting to discuss, but it's not a favourite read of mine. We have Hamlet. This is one of the most beautiful covers to Hamlet I have seen, and Hamlet is one of my favourite plays, so I'm really happy to have this edition. Twelfth Night, I felt a bit mediocre about this play, but I also think it's one that I need to reread to see if I appreciate it more upon reread. The Tempest, again, one of those meh Shakespeare plays for me. I saw a beautiful adaptation of this. It was a ballet, I think it was done by the Royal Ballet Company in the UK. It was a beautiful ballet. I really recommend watching that if you can. Othello, again, one of my favourite Shakespeare plays, so absolutely happy to have this edition. Much Ado About Nothing, which I found really entertaining, and it surprised me by how much I enjoyed it. A Midsummer Night's Dream, I've probably read this 4 times now, and I love it each and every time. So much romantic drama and magic and trickery. Macbeth, the first time I read Macbeth I was very underwhelmed because I think it has a lot of hype, but since then the play has grown on me, and I can't wait to reread it with the new appreciation that I have for the play. And then last but not least we have the classic Romeo and Juliet, which is not my favourite one to read because I think the play itself is a bit over dramatised and a bit, you know, insta-lovey, but I love all the retellings of Romeo and Juliet so much. It's one of my favourite book to film adaptations, the Zeffirelli version of the play, and the writing in it is truly beautiful, so I've actually read it multiple times even though it's not my favourite Shakespeare play. And those are the Shakespeare collections. Then I also have to show you 2 books that I've already read and reviewed, and those are My Darling from the Lines by Rachel Long and also Jackie K the Lamplighter. I've talked about these in both vlogs and wrap-ups, but all I want to quickly say here is that this is a black poetry collection. It's got black experience themes but also above and beyond that as well, and I thought this was absolutely fantastic. In fact, the more that I've been thinking about Rachel Long's poetry, the more I kind of want to up my rating of this collection, so I might be doing that. We'll see about that. And then we also have The Lamplighter by Jackie K, which was a new favourite for me. I absolutely adored this play. It's about British slavery and the slavery experience in Britain. It's written beautifully and it's emotional, and it's got, you know, it's driven by hard facts of history. Chef's Kiss. And we've got 3 that I need to read. So the first one that I want to talk about is The Harpy by Megan Hunter. So this is one about her husband who cheats on her, and she decides that she's going to stay with her husband, but in revenge she gets to hurt him 3 times, and it's about how she chooses to do that, about revenge and about love and a marriage and all the complexities. It's been said to be a strange book, and I've just been loving strange adult fiction lately. I've just been loving it, so I cannot wait to read this one. We also have The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. She is the one who wrote Station 11. This is connected to Station 11 in some ways, but it's also separate and different and its own book. It sounds like it's going to be following an array of characters and all of their storylines are going to entwine, so I'm going to be very curious to see how that goes down. And last but not least, from Book Break, we have The Confession by Jessie Burton, and I've not ever read anything by Jessie Burton, but this one sounds particularly interesting to me because it's about writers. So in history there's these 2 writers who used to be really good friends, and then we go to the future where there's this girl who's trying to uncover the truth about her mother who disappeared when she was just a baby, and she realizes that the last person who talked to her mother was this writer who is now a recluse. And I feel like those 2 storylines are going to entwine at some point, and there's going to be a mystery that needs to be solved and some hard truths that need to be talked about. I am intrigued. It's so typical of me to spend the whole morning filming a book haul and then in the afternoon a book arrived, and this book is The Once and Future Queen by Clara O'Connor, and this one comes out in January 2021. It's published by HarperCollins, and I am so intrigued by this one. I'm just going to read you a little bit of the synopsis on the back. What if the Roman Empire never fell? What if Caesar still ruled London? What if the Celtic throne still stood beyond its walls? And what if their ancient elemental power still thrums through the ley lines woven deep within the land, within earth, air and water? What if someone or something unleashed it? Okay, I was sold as soon as I heard that synopsis. Ley lines, I'm all about that life since the Raven cycle, and I always like elemental magic, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this one as well. Thank you to HarperCollins for sending it my way. It's the next day and another book arrived, so I thought I could just quickly talk about it now, and that is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This is an art copy of the book, and it was sent my way by a bookstagrammer. So this is a traveling art copy, and it's been hopping across bookstagrams who are doing a review of it. I believe it started with Ab Reads, and then it was passed on to Noella at the Reader's Diary, and she kindly sent it my way. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this one and passing it on. It's been quite a popular book on Booktube as well as Bookstagram lately, and I think it's about the microaggressions of racism. So I've still got 2 more sections of books to talk to you about, but before we get down to those books, I want to open the Illumicrate. I know the theme for this box is sinister surroundings, and I am very excited and curious about it. Okay, so that's the box, and on the cover we have sinister surroundings, which is telling us about what's inside, so I won't open it until I need help identifying something, which is inevitable because I am not an identifying queen, I'm an identifying failure. On the back it tells you what next month's theme is going to be, and that's going to be life and death. That sounds great to me. I love everything. Okay, I love everything to do with death and darkness, as you know, morbid as that sounds, but right now we're on sinister surroundings. The first thing I see is an exclusive Illumicrate mug. I love Illumicrate's mugs, and it says Heart of the Wood on it. Oh, let me open this right now. Honey, you didn't have to do it. Oh, I love these mugs so much. This one is beautiful. It's got a lot of orange and yellow and red tones in it, which is just perfect for the autumn vibes. So this mug is actually inspired by Uprooted by Naomi Novik, which is a book I have read and did not like at all. I'm actually trying to get rid of my copy of that. However, I have to admit, it does have a really good spooky forest in it, so I'm loving this mug, and oof, I love this mug. Even if I don't love the book that it's inspired by, it doesn't really matter because it's a cool mug on its own. Illumicrate has been having some shipping delays, so actually if you got last month's box, you will be getting your Rampion Lunar Chronicles travel drinking mug in this box, and it says Rampion, Captain is King, and this is great. I've got the straws that you stick in here, and I can just have a nice smoothie in this. Yes, we love it. We love it. I love the Lunar Chronicles so much. Ulf and Scarlet are the best couple ever. Ever. I love them so much. A pouch, and on the pouch it says Leather House established 1898. And it's got, again, like all these leaves, and I'm loving all the like naturey autumnal vibes to this. And on the back it says Death Conquers All. It's also got an open book. This is inspired by Ninth House, which makes sense why it has an open book there, because it's giving us Dark Academia vibes. I haven't read Ninth House yet, but I am here for Dark Academia. Oof, this is a pillowcase. It looks great. It's Caraval, and I've never read Caraval. I've got to admit, I don't know if circuses in fiction are my thing, but nonetheless, this is beautiful and magical looking. I feel like it's got like a dark magician on the front and then like two princesses at the bottom. That's what it looks like to me. So that looks beautiful. That's going to look great with my pillow collection. I have a bunch of bookish pillows that are just collecting their way on my bed. Soon there's going to be no room for me. It's just going to be a shrine of book pillows, and I don't even fit in my own bed. That's fantastic. Actually, the travel mug comes with a straw. I didn't see it. We have a beautiful wooden bookmark here, and we love a black girl on it, and she's got her hair in, it looks like plaits. This is a Kingdom of Souls bookmark. I haven't even read Kingdom of Souls, and I know this is a Kingdom of Souls bookmark. I really want to get to Kingdom of Souls. It's one that's on my TBR and to buy list. Yes, we love it. This is a Red Rising necklace. Ah, we love it. I was like, Howlers. Where do I know Howlers from? I think Howlers is Red Rising. I think so. I could be wrong, but I love the like geometric style of this. This is Student of the Scholomance, and this is the enamel pin for this month. It looks Dark Academia, dark vibes. We stan Dark Academia. Let me think. I feel like the Raven Boys kind of fits a little bit into the Dark Academia vibe. I've also read The Secret History, which is just complete Dark Academia vibes. I feel like as soon as you say Dark Academia, one of the ones that people think of is A Secret History. That was an okay book for me, but Donna Tartt's writing style is always amazing. And then we have If We Were Villains, which is a new favourite for me. I absolutely adored it. But it's time to get into the book. Oh, it's wrapped in a bag again. I've been using these bags so much and I love them so much. It's Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. You know, I should have been able to guess this from the uprooted mug and the enamel pin, but I wasn't able to guess. So I was thinking about giving Naomi Novik a second chance. I typically give authors 3 strikes and they're out. So I have given Uprooted a go, and I haven't given any of her other books a go, so I will give Deadly Education by Naomi Novik a go. This is a Illumicrate exclusive cover, I believe, because the cover I've been seeing everywhere else is different. It's got black sprayed edges, which I think is a great contrast to the yellow goldy cover. Take off the cover, it's beautiful. The foil that we've got on there is gorgeous and Dark Academia-ish. We've got a lovely shine on the spine. Oh, it's not even the title. You know, titles on the spines are so last year. Now we've got The Scholomance Isn't a Forgiving Place. We love a quote on the spine. And then if you open it, I'm sorry, but do you see that map? Do you see that map? Map aesthetic goals. And we've got a letter from the author right there in the cover, and it's signed by her at the bottom, of course, because why wouldn't you sign your own letters? That is amazing. Illumicrate is always amazing and comes through. If you would like a discount, oh, it's upside down. If you would like a bit of a discount on your Illumicrate 3 and 6 month book box subscriptions, you can use the code Olivia5 and you'll get a little bit of a discount, so definitely don't forget to do that. You want their boxes. Their boxes are absolutely amazing and you get so many beautiful items in a single box. Okay, now that we've done an unboxing, let's get back to talking about the last 2 groups of books. The first stack here is a group of books that I had no choice in buying. I just had to buy them because these are all the books for my 20th century US literature course that I'm taking for uni this year. So I've already showed you my Afrofuturism book haul. That's for my DIS. I've got a few books here for my creative writing class. Some I can tell you about, some I'm excited for, and some I have no clue. no clue whatsoever. So the first one is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I am excited to read this. I did want to read this of my own accord, and now it's on my reading list, so it was just an excuse to buy it. I had to get the Netflix cover because all the other covers, I find them so ugly. Then we have Passing by Nella Larson. I have wanted to read this for so long, and I was so happy when I saw it on the module reading list because I'm so excited to get it. And just as I was buying these uni books, I saw that Penguin Books has released this library edition just now of Passing, which made me so happy because I do try to collect the Penguin Classic paperbacks and cloth bound. So I was so happy with this purchase. I cannot wait to read it. I have to wait till semester 2, but excited. Again, another one I was so excited to buy and I've had on my wish list for ages, so I'm glad that I could finally get it for myself, and that is A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. This is a black play and it's just gonna be amazing. I already know it's amazing. You know when you fall in love with a book before you read it? That's me with this one. It matches my nails, it matches my jumper. This is a good omen. We also have The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I have not read a Toni Morrison novel before, and I own 2 of them that are not this one, so this module is going to push me to finally dive in and read one of her books. I am looking forward to doing so. Brief switch to something I need to read for my creative writing class, and that is The Bone Snatcher by Charlotte Salter. So with my creative writing class, what they love to do is give us books that were published by students who used to take the course themselves. So Charlotte Salter used to take the course that I take now, and she's got a published middle grade book. It's got all of the spooky vibes as well, so I am excited to give this one a go, and I recently saw Kasha from Kasha's Book Cemetery recommend it, which makes me doubly excited. And now we've got a bunch of books that I know next to nothing about. We've first got The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros, and this is a book that I know is popular in the US for like secondary school required reading, but I've never heard about it and I've never read it myself, so I'm curious. It's about a Latina girl who grows up in Chicago and it's just about her life. We've got a long play, it's a play in 2 parts, and that is Angels in America by Tony Kushner. I don't know anything about this one other than it's an LGBT plus play, so that makes me curious. The Science of Storytelling by Will Storr, and I'm going to be starting this one as soon as I'm done filming because I need to have read this by Tuesday, and it's a non-fiction about storytelling and creative writing, so you can guess that this one is for my creative writing class. And the next ones are books I'm just going to show you because I truly know nothing about them, so if you know something about them, positive, negative, let me know because I'll be curious to hear other people's thoughts. The first one is My Antonia by William Cather, Manhattan Transfer by John Dos Passos, The Crying Lot of 49 by Thomas Pynchon, As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner, Farewell My Lovely by Raymond Chandler, and last but not least, Ceremony by Leslie Marmon Silko. And this one showed up with deckled edges, and I was like, I didn't expect any uni text ever to have deckled edges, so I really hope I like this one just because I love deckled edges. So the last stack of books are these 4 books that I got while I was at the Free Little Library. I did a big unhaul and I haven't edited the video and shown it to you guys. I think I'm going to do that in November, so expect an unhaul in November. That is going to be huge, but I dropped off like 11 books and I actually picked up 4, so let's talk about them. The first one is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. So this is a very well-known classic. It's about this old man who is like a pedophile and is talking about this young girl. I've heard really mixed things about this one, and I was curious, but I also didn't want to pay for it because I have a feeling I'm not gonna like it, but then maybe I'll be interested. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, so I was glad I could find it in a Free Little Library because I didn't want to spend money on it. It's quite long. I will give it a go and I can just DNF it and put it back in the Free Little Library if I don't like it. And then we got 3 Dutch books. I'm always trying to read more in Dutch, so I just get books in Dutch and don't read them. So hopefully 2021 is going to be the effort of me reading more of my Dutch books that I own. So the first one I got was Spoorloos by Harlan Coben. This is actually originally written not in Dutch, but Harlan Coben is a very well-known thriller mystery author, and Spoorloos means without a trace. So that's all I really know about it. Then we have Snow Engelen by Suzanne Vermeer, and this means Snow Angels by Suzanne Vermeer, and it's about these 3 women who grow up together who are best friends. Then something happens and they drift away from each other. Tragedy strikes and it means they are pulled back together again, and it's just about their relationships and talking about why they fell apart and why they've come back together again. And then last but not least we have Echte Mannen Eten Geen Kaas by Maria Mustard, and this means real men don't eat cheese. And it's about this girl who's a teenager and she kind of gets kidnapped by these lover men who abuse her. They're kind of like drug dealers, they pimp out girls and things like that, so she gets kidnapped and it's about her story. So that actually really intrigued me as soon as I saw it. Those are all the books that I've recently got in the past 2 months and a brilliant Illumicrate unboxing. I can't wait to read all of these. I've read some of them already, and yeah, thank you so much for tuning in for this really long book haul. Please let me know in the comment section down below what is the most recent book that you've bought, received or acquired. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior! I just dropped a whole pile of books. It's okay, you can stay on the floor. Nothing got damaged. Okay, let's pretend I'm gonna recognize something. Oh, come on. Come on, Olivia. Recognize.